Hey everyone, welcome. All right, so we're gonna do a 30-day golf fitness transformation here. This is my brother Ryan. He's down from Wisconsin. So we're gonna take these next 30 days. We're gonna get 18 workouts. We're gonna go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. All right, 18 workouts, 30 days. We're gonna see if we can get him to move better, get him to have a little bit more of an efficient golf swing. Again, I'm not a golf coach. So I'm not teaching him mechanics or anything like that, but from a physical standpoint, we're gonna see if we can get him to move better in the next 30 days. And so you're probably asking, well, what does that mean? Well, today is the most important day because we're gonna run through all of the testing, all right? So if you're not testing yourself, if you're not assessing your capabilities, then you're just guessing. You're guessing at what your strengths and weaknesses are, right? So I'm gonna take him through an entire assessment here. We're gonna do a movement screen. 16 different movements, all right? See how efficient he is in his movement patterns. We're gonna do a strength test, all right? So we're gonna test his push strength, pull strength, lower body strength. We're gonna test his power, all right? Upper body power, core power, lower body power. Then I'm also gonna take him through a swing analysis. Again, I'm not a swing coach. However, the K-Motion swing analysis will show us a lot of information as to how he moves in his golf swing, some of his swing characteristics or swing faults, and I can take that information, blend it with his movement screen, his strength, his power testing, and really get a better picture of what some of his strengths and weaknesses are. And then finally, we're just gonna wrap it up with a swing speeds test, just to kind of see where we're at, see if anything changes over 30 days. So today is by far the most important day because this is how you set up a training program, right? Is you gotta assess yourself. So we're gonna assess the whole thing today, set up a training program for the next 30 days, the next 18 workouts, and then at the end, we'll reevaluate and see how we did over the 30 days. So he's been doing a lot of different workouts. I call them kind of cookie cutter type stuff, you know, the bench pressing, the squats, blah, blah, blah. We're gonna get some, he's gonna be doing some different exercises here. So again, these exercises that we're gonna do in these workouts are prescribed for Ryan. It's based off of this testing that we're about to do. So you may have some similar weaknesses or compensations, and so some of these exercises may work for you, but they're not by no means intended for you. But they may help you. But these are for Ryan and for what he's trying to work on. So we're gonna start with a movement screen. I'm gonna take him through it. We're gonna go through it, and then at the very end, we'll sit down, we'll analyze it all, and we'll develop a program for him. You ready to go?
Let's do this.
All right, man. The first test we're gonna do is called the pelvic tilt test, all right? So all I want him to do is just stand here, shoulder width apart. You're gonna take your arms across your chest, get into a golf posture, and all we wanna do is we wanna see if he can tilt his pelvis anteriorly or forward. So I want you to pretend that basically your waistband, that you've got it filled up, your shorts are filled up with water, all right? So what I want you to do is I want you to tip that water out and fill that water up. Tilt that water out, fill that water up, okay? So what I'm looking for is, can he pelvic tilt? Can he actually perform the movement? Just tilting his pelvis anteriorly and posteriorly, all right? So he can do that. But what I can tell from here is he gets a little bit of what we call shake and bake when he posteriorly tilts it, and he comes in there. So good. So that's the first test. Now what we want to do is, can we rotate our pelvis? All right, so same thing, same position. Here, all hands across the shoulders, golf posture. And now I want to see if you can rotate your pelvis, all right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that he's doing that independently of moving his upper body. We want to look for very minimal movement in the knees. Just want to see if he can rotate his pelvis. Good. Okay. All right. So he's got a little bit, and if you just turn this way, go ahead and do it again. It's got a little bit of sort of more of like a sway, like a shift, rather than just a strict rotation of the pelvis. All right, so the next test is torso rotation test. So as we did with the pelvic rotation, we wanted to see if he can independently rotate his pelvis without moving his upper body. Now switch it up. So now we want to see that he can actually rotate his torso without moving his lower body. Okay, so I want your face camera, good. Golf posture, hands across the shoulders. Rotate the torso. Okay. Good, see, so his hips don't move, pelvis doesn't move, he's just rotating his torso. All right, so the next test is the overhead squat test, and this is by far one of the more difficult tests and the one that people struggle with most because it incorporates so many different aspects of movement. Thoracic mobility, hip mobility, ankle mobility, all the way down the chain. So for this test, all I want to do is I just got a driver, any kind of iron, any kind of dowel works. We're going to place it on top of your head, arms 90 degrees. You're going to raise it up as far as you can. Feet are going to be shoulder width apart, toes pointed forward. And then all I want you to do is I want you to squat down as far as you can, keeping that club above your head. Good. Back up. Again. So he's got actually a really good squat. Great mobility in the hips. That bar stays above the head. His knees stay out. Everything works really good for this. Next test is called the toe touch test. All right, real simple. This one takes 2 seconds. All I want you to do is stand with your feet together, keeping your knees straight, your legs straight, knees locked. And all I want you to do is bend over and touch your toes. Good. Up again, back down. What we're looking for here is a hinge from the hip. Next test is the 90-90 test, and this is going to measure external rotation of the shoulder. So all I want you to do is we're going to do this 2 ways. We're going to do it standing straight up, and we're going to do it in the golf posture. And what we want to do is we want to see that he maintains that range of motion within his golf posture. So from standing tall, all I want you to do is bring your arm out to the side, 90 degrees, elbow at 90 degrees, and then you are going to just rotate your arm back, externally rotate it as far as you can. So as you can see, he can clear his ear, so he's got full range of external rotation there in his right arm, okay? And then turn around, do it with the left arm, same thing, arm out to the side, rotate back, good. And as you can see, he can clear. All right, so same thing now. Now we're gonna get into the golf posture. So again, shoulder width apart, just as if you got a 5 or 6 iron in your hand. And bring your arm out to 90 degrees and externally rotate. Good. And as you can see, he gets to about the same as what he was when he was standing up, and that's what we're looking for. Good. Turn. Okay. And good. Maybe a little bit short there on the rotation here, on the left side, as far as how it was when he was standing up, and maybe some imbalances here from right to left. So we'll mark that and we'll keep an eye on that when we're working on some of the shoulder mobility. All right, this next test, again, this one's a pretty difficult one too. Single leg balance test. Feet together, arms by your side. What you're gonna do is you're gonna raise one knee up to 90 degrees. Then when you're ready, all I want you to do is close your eyes. We're gonna see how long you can maintain that balance. Okay, about 5 seconds there. Try the other leg. Okay, so a little bit better there on the right leg. There's a bunch of different levels, you know, he got about 5 seconds and 7 seconds. Ideally, we want to get over 25 seconds. So obviously the balance is going to be something that we're going to take a look at when it comes to his program. All right, so this test is the lat test. All right, so squat down just above 90 degrees, good. Lower back against the wall, shoulders against the wall, head against the wall, arms straight down by the side. And now raise the arms up overhead and see if you can touch the thumbs to the wall very easily. Good, one more time. Keep the arms straight. Yep, good. All right, so the next test is the lower quarter test, lower quarter rotation test. All right, so we're gonna measure our hip mobility, our internal and external rotation of our hips. Obviously really important in the backswing and the downswing. When we're set up and we take our backswing, we're internally rotating here on the right hip, externally rotating on the left, and then as we come through, that switches. Internal rotation on the left, external rotation on the right. Okay, so I've got a little gadget here, but basically what we're doing is 60-degree angles. So ideally we're looking for 60 degrees of rotation internally and externally in our hips. All right, so keep the legs straight. Rotating backswing. Okay, pretty good. A little bit shy of that 60 degrees. Probably about 55 or so. Okay, so now that's the backswing on the right leg. So now let's go with the, we can see how much external rotation he has. This will be on the downswing. And that one, so he's got to make sure you keep everything straight here and just rotate that hip. So again, just slightly short of the 60 degrees. All right, then switch legs. So now we'll evaluate the left hip. So first we'll go downswing, so internal rotation. And again, shy of the 60 degrees. And then external rotation. Don't let your leg come out. Keep that leg straight, yep. And that's external rotation on the left. So, as we're going through this here, I can tell, his overhead squat was clean. So he's got enough hip mobility in that area, but we can tell that he's lacking some internal and external rotation in his hips. So again, that'll show up, we'll show the results at the end and go through, and that'll be a determining factor in his programming. All right, this next test is called the cervical rotation test, all right? So this one's really simple. You're gonna stand straight up and down, arms by your side. All I want you to do is rotate your head to the side, and then I want you to touch your chin to your collarbone, all right? Good. Go ahead and do it again. Good. So can you get this chin down to his collarbone? Good. Now the other side. Here, just stay right there. Go ahead. Good. So a couple things that might happen is he starts shrugging his shoulder to get up there, or brings his head down too far. But we just want to see if he's got enough cervical rotation to get that chin to the collarbone. A couple more simple tests here. We're going to evaluate the wrists and the forearms. So I've got a 6-iron. Again, this is a 60-degree angle here at the base. So for this one, all we want to do is arms straight out in front of you. And I'm going to use that 60-degree angle. So I'm just going to place this by his shoulder here. And I want to see, we can go into a fist. And we'll see if he can clear that 60 degrees there, good. And then we'll flip it around. And can you clear the 60 degrees there? Good. All right, we'll switch sides. Down, 60 degrees. Good, 60 degrees. All right, then a basic simple wrist hinge test. We're gonna stand with our arms by our side, 90 degrees, fist, thumbs up. All I wanna see is, can you hinge down and hinge up? Good. Hinge down, hinge up. All right, and the next one is the forearm test. So straight out, supinate, pronate. You rotate your forearms. Good. Good. All right, so this test is a seated trunk rotation test. So this is going to measure his thoracic rotation. So ideally you want to be on a seat that get your knees to about 90 degrees. I put these two clubs underneath, and all I did was just make a cross, which will give us 45-degree angles. And so that's what we're looking for, is can he rotate his trunk, his torso 45 degrees. So I'm just going to give him a driver, rest that on your shoulders. All right. The key to this is to keep the knees together throughout the entire rotation. All right. If the knees come apart, it's a failed test. And I just want to see how far he can rotate his torso. So he clears the 45 degrees pretty easily there, and the other way, and again, clears 45 degrees very easily on that one, on the downswing. So, all right. So this next test is the bridge with leg extension test. All right, so we want to measure glute strength with this. So it's just like your basic glute bridge, but then we'll go into a single leg version and see how well he can maintain that posture, whether he can keep that balance. And we want to make sure that he doesn't kind of cramp up in the hamstring or the lower back here. So laying on your back, feet back, knees together, arms are going to be straight up over your head. All right, and what I want you to do is I want you to bridge up, and then I want you to extend one leg. And we want to hold this for 10 seconds. And then on the other side. No? Cramped? Weak? Okay. So again, 10 seconds ideally to hold that without cramping, without any lower back pain, or just the ability to hold it that long. So, all right, so we tested Ryan's movement screen. All right, we did all that. We'll get the results for that. We'll take a look at that. That is an absolute priority to do that before you get yourself involved in any kind of training program. So that's going to set the primary basis for what exercises we're going to look at from a movement standpoint to improve his golf swing. Another important component of that is strength, right? We want to see how much upper body, lower body, and core strength he has, all right? So how we're going to do that is we're going to first evaluate his upper body strength from a pushing perspective and from a pulling perspective. So two real simple tests with a cable pulley. We want to see what his 8 rep max is, okay? So what he is able to do 8 times, all right? Again, at the end, I'll show you all the information as far as what weight you're looking to get to and all of that. But we're going to do a single arm push on both sides, evaluate what his 8 rep max is, and then we'll do a single arm pull, all right? So we got a standard pulley. All right, so start with a weight that you're comfortable with. And again, you can do a couple reps and then say, okay, yeah, I could easily get 8, increase the weight. We want to get to that 8 reps. What weight can you do with 8 reps? So I'll assist him a little bit here on getting the cable out. Athletic stance, there's going to be a little bit of lean to it. But again, we just want to see how far he can, if he's able to get 8 reps or not with this weight. Too light? Okay, we'll bump it up. Again, here I've only got 10-pound increments. I don't even have little 5s. So we're getting a rough estimate here, but if you're at a gym and you've got 2.5 pounders or 5 pounders, you can get a little bit more accurate. Okay, and we'll go and switch arms. We'll go onto the right arm. Again, this looks a little bit more difficult than, this is a little more difficult than what it really looks like. But again, from a more golf standpoint, find this a little bit more, a little better than just performing something like a straight bench press max. He got 50 on both sides. Again, I'll break that down as to what that really means at the end when we evaluate all of his testing. But now what we'll do is now we'll go into the pull. So again, same way that we just did the pushing, the strength exercise. It's going to be a single arm pull. Again, athletic stance. You're going to start at a weight that you're comfortable with and build yourself up. Now, do you think you could go a little bit more, or was that about it? Okay, yeah, again, maybe if we had some 2.5 pounders or something, we could throw those on there. He might get a little bit better, but you know, we're getting a pretty good idea. He's at 60 for pull and 50 for push, so. All right, good. So that's the push and the pull, so upper body strength for that one. This is the lower body strength test. All right, so he's gonna start with his left leg forward. And just going down, we're gonna see 8 reps. Good. All right, so pretty easy, do more. Yeah, maybe another 5, so we'll see what he gets here on his right leg. So about the same, both sides?
That probably was good at 60.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit stronger on his left side. We'll put that as 65, and his right side we'll keep at 60 pounds. So that's the lower body strength test. Now what we want to do is we want to take a look at power. How much power does his upper body have compared to his lower body, compared to his core? Best ways or easiest way to test lower body power is by testing the vertical jump. So, real simple test to do. Sometimes you're in a Vortec and the fancy places, and you slap the bars, and it's a lot easier, but this is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have him stand next to the wall. He's gonna reach up with the hand he's gonna jump with. He's gonna reach up as high as he can. I'm gonna mark that as the baseline, the starting point, and then I will mark as high as he can jump and touch and touch up top, and then I'll just simply measure the difference. So I'm gonna have him step right next to the wall, reach up with the hand that he's gonna jump with. I'm gonna just slide this box over here so I can stand on top and measure it. So I'm just going to measure the very top of his middle finger. Okay. And then I am just going to have him jump as high as he can. And he can take a little step away from the wall, bend down and vertical as much as he can. Okay. So we'll get it right up to this little notch here. And typically all I'll do is I'll give them three chances and see which is the highest and measure from there. Okay, got a little bit higher on that one. And one more. Yeah, and that one was a little bit lower, which is usually what happens is it becomes a diminishing of returns. So all I do is take it from the highest point that he jumped, bring it down to where we can reach at. And we're looking at 16 and an 1/8 inch. So his vertical is 16 and an 1/8. All right, so now we're outside. We're gonna do our power testing. And what it's done with is a med ball. So what size of the med ball that you're gonna use is 20-pound increments. So my brother weighs 170 pounds. So that would be an 8.5 pound med ball. They don't really make halves, so we're just gonna round down. We're gonna use an 8-pound med ball for all 3 of these exercises. And what we're gonna test is, we already did the lower body test with the vertical jump. So we're gonna test upper body power, core power, and total body power. So all he's gonna do is he's gonna take it on his chest and he's going to throw it as far as he can without his butt coming up off the seat. Now his back can move off and he can, come forward a little bit, but he can't just come all the way off the seat. All right, and then we're gonna simply just measure that, how far he threw in inches, in feet, and that'll be our upper body power assessment. All right, so I'm just going to mark exactly where the med ball hits, and then we'll measure it from his chest. So go ahead. So it's right here. Mm, 20 feet, 2 inches. 20 feet, 2 inches. So 20 feet, 2 inches for his upper body power. So the next test is going to be, we're gonna test his core power. So this is gonna be a sit up and throw. Again, we're using the same med ball, an 8-pound med ball, which is equivalent to the amount of weight or what he weighs. At 170, it should be about an 8.5 pound med ball, but we're just gonna round down and use an 8-pound med ball. So all he's gonna do is take the ball above his head, he's gonna sit up and throw it as far as we can. This is the core power test. All right. "14 feet, 2 inches. All right, so this last power assessment is going to be total body power. All right, so it's gonna be a shot put throw. So all he's gonna do is he's gonna do one from his right side and from his left side. So he's gonna start on his left side first. There we go. Measured 26 feet. All right, obviously he's a righty, so his left side's gonna be a little bit shorter than his right. So now we'll go right side. There we go. So 30 feet from the right side and 26 feet, 2 inches from the left side. All right, so that was a total body shot put power test. So we got his upper body, we got his core body, upper body core and total body power outputs here. We've got his lower body power with the vertical jump. So the only thing left to do, 2 things. We're gonna go back to the gym. We're gonna do a swing speed, just another data point to see if we've increased any speed over the 30 days. And we're also gonna do the K-motion swing analysis, all right? All right, so one other thing we're gonna do here is just measure swing speed. So we've got a little PRGR radar here, a little red eyes pocket radar. So we're just gonna, it'll just give us an idea of what the club head speed is. I'm actually not too concerned about it, but it's just another data point to put into the evaluation. And then again, after the 30 days, we can take a look and see if we increase any speed. So we're just gonna swing as hard as we can, like Bryson does, and see where we're at and mark it down and see if anything changes after the month. Seven. 7. One more. unless you beat it. $107. All right, so the last part of this, of the ULaunch performance evaluation is the K-motion swing analysis. That's the K-motion swing analysis, just 10 swings, 5 of each. Gives us a great breakdown, 10-page analysis on the driver and on the 6-iron. Gives you an idea of your consistency, your speed, creation, some of the swing characteristics, if they're minor or major, or if they're good to go. So we'll take a look at that with all the other testing that we did. I'll break it all down for you, and then that's gonna set the basis for our programming for the next 30 days. So we're gonna see what we can do for a little 30-day golf fitness transformation. And at the end of the 18 workouts, which is what it is, 4 times a week, we'll come back, we'll retest, and we'll see what we did. See if the workout, see if the exercises helped at all. So we'll get to the evaluation. All right, so let's take a look at Ryan's movement screen. And this is, we just went through the entire evaluation. We're gonna focus on his movement screen. I'm gonna break that down right now because for these first 30 days, that's going to be our primary focus. So what you're seeing here is the Titleist Performance Institute website. This is where I keep all my clients. So in other words, if you take yourself through that ULaunch golf fitness movement screen and you send me the results, I am going to send you your own account. And it's an app, well, you can do it on the website also, but it's an app on your phone. It'll give you all the results I'm about to share with you from Ryan's. Plus, there is where you'll get your free exercises, it's basically a 30-minute routine specifically for your results. So let's take a look at Ryan's here and break this down, and then we'll get started. So his level 1, his movement screen here. So they gave him a golf fitness handicap of 20. I'm not exactly sure how they break that down, how each test is weighted, but it is a number that we can keep track of over time. Then we get into each of the tests, okay? So here's where you're gonna see his red flags, right? This is gonna be our primary focus for the next 30 days. We wanna improve these movement deficiencies. So remember his pelvic rotation, he more or less swayed instead of rotating a little bit. He kind of had it, but hey, listen, if it's borderline, if there's a question about it, then you definitely want to work at it. Single leg balance, right? Dropped immediately on the right side. Left side was decent, but still some room for improvement. His lower quarter rotation, so he was limited externally on both sides. His bridge with leg extension, so he cramped on that right side, so we really need to focus on that right glute. And then obviously the pelvic tilt. So this is an issue with most people. As he tries to posteriorly tilt his pelvis, he gets shaken, a little, what we call shake and bake, some vibration. So again, and then all these other tests, right? So they're all green, which means he passed them. Doesn't mean you don't continue to focus on them. However, for these first 30 days, this is our primary focus here, all right? But let me just take you into his other screen real quick because we did do the strength and the power testing. As you can see here, like I knew, his core power was not in line with his lower body and his upper body power, or his rotational. But so we do want to work on that core a little bit. Again, primary focus for this first 30 days is going to be movement based. But if we clean up the movement, I'm pretty sure we're going to clean up some of these power issues. These will improve if we clean up his movement. Strength wise, I mean, the guy was excellent strength wise. So little lack in the power, good in the strength. If we clean up that movement with this strength, these power numbers should increase. So again, that's his breakdown. Those are going to be our primary focuses here going forward. So tomorrow when we start that day 1 of our 30-day golf fitness transformation, those are going to be the primary areas we are going to hit. And we're going to focus on these. And then after 30 days, we'll come back and retest and see how we did with that. So again, if you're interested in this, download that golf fitness movement screen.
Take yourself through it. Send me the results. You will get an account just like Ryan's, and you can have it. It's on your phone through an app, and this will also give you your exercise routine. So it'll be a 30-minute routine, probably 6-7 exercises that are specifically for your weaknesses. All right. So that's it for analyzing his assessment. That was a long video, long day of testing, but it is necessary because this is what sets the basis for our training program. So next time we see you will be day 1 of Ryan's 30-day golf fitness movement screen. All right. And so we will see you next time. Thanks.